Stronger Together, How I Built a Community from Nothing. Community isn't about people being in the same room or just a collection of people. It's about a group of people that actually care about one another's growth, that actually encourage one another's growth and help one another out in the ways that they can. We all have different skills, abilities, and talents. And if we offer them up to other people that we're in a community with, we get incredible results. And so does the person that we help, right, and encourage. So the goat and I are hanging out today. I've got some goat intentions. So working on that today. I borrowed my granddaughter's yoga goat to keep me company because it goes in alignment with a new goal that I have. So today let's talk about community. We're talking about communities and contribution. Not communities all month, but contribution all this month. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Can't remember if I said that or not. This is our Supersize Your Business community and group. It's a group. It's a Facebook group. It's a page. It's a business for me. It's a community on the school platform, which I'm going to talk a little bit about today because to me, community is a shared purpose. It's a shared support system. It's shared communication. It's diverse ways of thinking, but everybody is allowed to think for themselves. Everyone's encouraged to think for themselves in the communities that I choose to participate and belong to. Now, have I been in communities that those aren't their goals and objectives and they're not in alignment? Yeah, but I don't stay long, right? Because I don't feel like I can be myself. And if I can't be myself in a community, I'm out of here. So one thing that I want to talk about today is our ability to join communities that are of interest to us or that help us professionally. One of my favorite types of communities to belong to are professional organizations. For example, quality associations, sanitation associations, not so much, but I was in some of those back in the day. But I went to college to become a quality engineer, right? To be an engineer, I thought I was going to be a chemical engineer like my dad, but got into that program and I'm like, yeah, I don't love this. I don't want to build sewage treatment plants. I don't want to build bridges or structures like mechanical engineers. I want to do my own thing. So I went the mechanical quality route in terms of my education and also my experience. When I got into corporate America, I started out in team leadership and moved into the quality function because I realized I could define it my own way and I could get involved in everybody's business and help people align and make sure that their processes, no matter what area of the business they worked in, were in alignment with creating the best possible customer experience. And that served me really, really well in different corporations. And then I realized that I could switch industries and how powerful that was in terms of earning potential and cross-pollination of ideas from one industry to another. Super duper powerful strategy, and almost no one uses it. Nobody teaches it that I've seen. I guess I should look that up before I say nobody. I don't like to use absolutes. But we're talking about community today. Now, you don't need to wait for there to be a community. Nowadays, especially, excuse me, with the internet, I've got at least 20 different Facebook communities and pages and groups. Groups are supposed to be communities, but I have found, sorry, Facebook, my communities on Facebook are not how I define a real community. Usually it's me just pumping stuff out there and people commenting on it. And to me, that's not a community. A community has real dialogue, real problem solving together, real helping one another. And I will say, I found that on School last fall. There's a platform called School, and there's like tens of millions of people on it now. I actually had been on it a year earlier and had no idea. I was on it as part of a coaching and training program I was part of. And we were on the School platform, but it changed so much in just the few months that I belonged to it and been a part of it. I can see why back then it wouldn't even have been a blip on my radar. But now, last year, it became the central core focus of my personal business items. I am taking everything I do and have done in the past and putting it into a community on the School platform. Why? Because as I get older, I want life to be simple, and I can put everything in one place there, and I can control, and not control, but I can guide the type of a community that it is and the type of community I want to be. No spam, people. I have zero tolerance for spam. No automatic bot AI type posting. Real people, real founders, real business owners helping one another out and helping one another grow, sharing their experiences and learning from one another. And of course, I'm going to offer, and I am offering, a mastermind and an inner circle and things like that as part of that. But that's just separate. There's so many different types of organizations we can join. And if you really want to become the best possible version of yourself and grow as a human being, you need to get yourself in some of those rooms or some of those organizations that help you to do that. I've been involved in so many different professional organizations and programs and courses and things. I've totally lost count of them. Of course, I have notes from all of them in tubs in my storage unit, but it doesn't really do me much good. But the truth is, it's all in our brain anyway. Once we learn something, and when we're exposed to anything, all of our experiences, they get stored away in our subconscious, and it's just a matter of how can I access those and retrieve those. And I have some strategies for that, as a matter of fact. I need to put my coffee down before I spill it all over myself, like I did yesterday. Yesterday, I did that. All right, so what are we going to do with this today? What is our action item with respect to communities? First and foremost, ask yourself, and I wasn't going to share the reflective questions, but I think I will today. Number one, do I feel part of a meaningful community or isolated? Okay, I'm going to tell you, there have been times in my past when I felt like I was all by myself. There were years once I left corporate America and was building my Italian food manufacturing business pretty much on my own. I had, hired an accountant and a CPA. I had hired a few people, a legal person, a lawyer to help me with the legal things. But for the most part, I was navigating a lot of things on my own. I definitely felt isolated and alone throughout several years of that. And then I realized I don't have to be alone. I can join communities that are part of and impact my business. And then I started to do that. And that took away some of the, I got to do this all myself. There are so many solopreneurs nowadays, and it's easy. You can get to $3 to $5 million nowadays with AI by yourself. And that's mind blowing to me, but you can easily do that. But if you want to go beyond that, you have to start building a team. And whenever we go to building a team, at least the vast majority of people I interact with, that is the point, the inflection point at which we really need to make sure we're involved in other communities and advisors that can help us through the pitfalls, because there's a whole lot of them when it comes to building a team. How do I know? Because I teamed up with some of the wrong people in the last 4 or 5 decades. And I had to learn the really hard way. And if we can prevent that for you, oh heavens, yes. What's the next one? Where am I taking from community without giving back? Now, I think I mentioned this yesterday. I believe that there are givers and takers in the world. And givers win. Takers usually lose in the long run. They might win in the short term, but I have from divine authority that is not a winning strategy. So I always encourage people to be givers, and that means give value to the communities you're a part of, as in participate, be an active member of those communities. I'm going to also add the caveat that be selective, pick and choose the communities that you are going to participate in and that you want to be a part of. Here's one of the lessons I learned the hard way on the school platform. I adore the school platform. I have learned about things since last October, September, October, whenever I joined, that I never even knew were a thing. Nervous system regulation. I don't know, but if you're my age, did you ever hear of that until like the last decade or so? And there's whole communities about it, like probably hundreds of them. Burnout. I knew I had it, but I didn't know what it was, and it didn't have a name back when I first experienced it to the point of a sudden cardiac arrest. Now I know there's all kinds of burnout and burnout recovery groups out there, and how to manage stress, how to regulate your body. Crazy stuff I'd never heard of. And the mistake I made was getting involved in far too many communities and joining far too many communities. Now, I did it as research to figure out, well, how do I want to do my community? I don't know how to do a community on this platform. I got to figure it out. And I joined when there weren't a gazillion people. Now there's a gazillion people teaching how to do school. Here's the problem with that. Conflicting information all over the place. And depending on what your goal is or your objective or what you're trying to build and create, the type of community, some of the information is spot on. Others is just the exact wrong thing. I'm in a community where the leader is teaching one philosophy, and I get that and I understand that, but it's the opposite of what I'm doing on the platform and what I need for information. So I need to filter that out and say, okay, take the pieces that work, leave the pieces that don't work aside. What community could I build or strengthen that would serve a real need and a real purpose? And if you want to do that, just put me in the comments below. And if you're interested in finding out how to do a school, I've had 10 people in the last week say, you should be teaching people how to do school. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not what I want to do. That's not the people I'm here to serve, but I can do that too. And I believe that some of the people that I am here to serve would be well served to have their own school community, even if it's just one that they use for their business and their industry to collaborate and work with other people. It's a great central location to do that on. And they can all be private. Right now, I will admit my group is public, but it's going to go private as soon as I launch my mastermind and my inner circle, because I want to keep everything in one group as long as possible, one community as long as possible, just because my personal objective is to simplify my life and make it a lot easier and have it all in one place. And if I start having 2 and 3 communities, and believe me, I've wanted to have another community since I joined. I wanted to have one for personal development and one for Supersize Your Business. And I'm like, okay, Supersize Your Business has been with me for over 2 decades. So I think that's where I start. So that's where I'm focusing. All right, what are we going to do today? I challenge you to assess your involvement in communities, your local community, your business's involvement. We're talking about our business today. Your business's involvement in the local community. Do you have a presence? Even if you're on the internet, guess what? You're part of the world community. How are you interacting with that? Be super honest. Do a little SWOT analysis with yourself. What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What are our opportunities? What are our threats? I love SWOT analyses. Okay. So it comes from doing thousands of them in my career, right? Anything we do a lot of and we're good at, we like to do. If we don't, we wouldn't do a lot of it. So assess where you're at with respect to organizations and say, okay, what's going on with me? Where am I at? Am I participating in different communities? Am I giving in communities? Or am I just there to get whatever I can get out of it? Am I just going and taking courses so that I can learn as much as I can possibly learn and not giving anything back to the organization, like sharing the lessons I've learned, the wins I've had, what's working, what's not working, asking questions, being involved, helping other people when we can, because we know we've experienced that ourselves. I always like speaking from my own personal experience because everybody's experience is different. Everybody comes into everything with all of the things from their past, all their thoughts, feelings, beliefs, experiences, good, bad, and ugly, or good, bad, and beautiful, however you want to look at it. But we all come with our own, trail of baggage with us. And sometimes we can set that aside and learn and contribute in positive ways. Other times we're not in a position to do that. We need to be honest with ourselves. Hey, I'm in a phase of recovery and taking care of myself. That's different than if you're in a community to give and provide help and service, etc. All right, I digress. So what are you going to do? Share in the comments below either the community you're going to start or the one you're going to join, or what you're thinking about with respect to this for your business, because I will tell you a little secret. It's not a secret to the people that have done it. When you give and build something outside yourself that helps other people, voila. It's why we're in business. We solve problems and help other people. We give value. In exchange for that, people give us money and other resources and business, etc., and their attention and loyalty and all those things, great things that we're trying to achieve with our businesses. That's it. That's all I've got today. If I can help you in any way, reach out and ask. Put me if you'd like to learn more about the school platform. I don't pretend to be like the expert on the platform, but I'm pretty dang good. If I can help you, ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.